The Secretary-General's three-nation West Africa tour billed as an effort to show solidarity with the region during the holy month of Ramadan, concluding in Nigeria, where he met the country's leadership.
He reiterated the importance of the partnership between Nigeria and the United Nations, adding that the country is a pillar of continental and global cooperation. Turning to the impact of the war in Ukraine on the African continent, the Secretary-General said the conflict only makes things worse, setting in motion a three-dimensional crisis that is devastating global food, energy and financial systems for the developing world. Addressing the issue of global food security, he said he is determined to do everything to facilitate a dialogue that can help bring back the agricultural production of Ukraine and the food and fertilizer production of Russia and Belarus into the world markets despite the war.
After meeting African Union Chair and Senegalese President Macky Sall in Dakar at the weekend, he travelled to Niger, where he reiterated his call for more resources to tackle the problem of terrorism that continues to destabilize an already vulnerable region, here visiting displaced people and refugees from Mali.
Moi, je suis chrétien.
I am a Christian, but I am making this visit in solidarity to demonstrate my respect and my admiration for the Muslim population that suffers the impacts of terrorism, climate change and droughts, and all of the difficulties that you have in your lives. In all of the sacred texts of Islam, there is a condemnation of violence and any war waged by one Muslim against another Muslim.
Earlier, former Nigerian President Muhammadu Buhari agreed to a request from the African Union and the UN to lead a joint strategic assessment on security in the Sahel, focused on recommendations for an overall international response.
Peace, stability, and prosperity in Niger and the entire Sahel are a top priority for the United Nations. Nothing can justify violence. As usual, civilian populations are the first victims. As terrorist attacks continue to increase in the Sahel and spread to the Gulf of Guinea states, the international community must realize that this is no longer just a regional or African issue, but a global threat. I will continue to advocate, as I have done since the beginning of my mandate, for the mobilization of additional resources to meet these challenges.
Guterres warned that beyond the security dimension, the region faced a multi-dimensional crisis rare in scale that required a large, urgent and coordinated international response.
We must fight the root causes: poverty, exclusion, impunity, food insecurity, climate crisis, which exacerbate intercommunal tensions and continue to fuel violent extremism and terrorism in many countries around the world, but also here in the Sahel. This requires a comprehensive approach that simultaneously tackles underdevelopment while strengthening the link between peace, humanitarianism, and development.
Secretary-General is expected to address the media on his return to New York on Friday, on his visit to West Africa, and his earlier visit to Eastern Europe to bolster UN peace and humanitarian efforts in Ukraine. Sherman Bryceby's SABC News, New York.